Bismillah, alhamdulillah, wa salatu wa salamu ala rasulillah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. How's it going, brothers? MashaAllah, it's good to see you all here. It's been an amazing time that we've had, MashaAllah, this time. Just like last time as well. And inshallah, every single time that we come, hopefully, it'll be just like this and better, inshallah. So, I'm going to keep mine very, very short. Okay, I'm going to keep my session very, very short because I know that, it becomes difficult the longer we make it, etc. So I want to make it short, and inshallah I want to make it direct, straight to the point. Throughout the last couple of days, one recurring theme we've heard about is how life is difficult. You know, even Brother Shu'aib, he was just talking, he mentioned about the difficulties that he went through. Life is difficult, etc. I want to ask you guys a bit of a question that you might find a bit random. Okay? Allah, as we know, has names and attributes. Okay? Allah has names and attributes. I'm going to ask you guys, can you give me a name or an attribute of Allah? Like Allah is X, Y, and Z. Allah is this. Sorry? Allah is the most forgiving. Okay, so perhaps we can say Allah is Ar-Rahim or Al-Ghafoor. Okay? No problem. Perfect. Now, I want to ask you guys a question based on that. We'll go with Rahim. Okay? What does it mean for you? If I was to ask you guys a question, what does it mean for you that Allah is Ar-Rahim? What does that mean for you on a practical level? What difference does that make in your life?
It gives hope.
He what, sorry?
It gives hope.
It gives hope. Okay, fine. It gives you hope. No problem.
So give me another chance.
Let's get another name or attribute out there. One of the brothers mentioned Al-Ghafoor, Rahim, no problem. Yeah, another one. Al-Wadud, perfect. Allah is the most loving. He is the most loving. Okay. What does that mean for you in your life?
They say like Allah loves you 70, I don't know if I'm right or not, more than your mother. So like,
yes.
If my mother loves me, then like,
yes.
Allah is there for me, take care of me no matter what.
Exactly right. So Allah has the mercy for His. So when I ask the question, what does that mean for you? That's the type of answer we want. So what it means for us that Allah is Al-Wadud, He is the most loving, is that He loves me more than my mother. Allah is more merciful to me than my mother. Okay? Let's get another one out there. What's another one? Anyone?
Al-Basir.
Al-Basir. Allah sees all. He is the all-seeing. Allah is Al-Basir. Okay, it's very powerful. What does that mean for you? What does it mean? Allah knows everything that you're doing. Everything that you're doing. See, what we've just done here is we've actualized Aqidah. That's what we've just done. These names and attributes in Islamic studies, they come under the field of Aqidah, which is translated usually to creed. Perhaps a better translation is belief. This is what we believe about Allah. What do we believe about Allah? We believe Allah is this, Allah is that. And when you attend classes, which I'm sure many of you have before, you learn Allah is Al-Rahim, Allah is Al-Alim, Allah is Al-Basir, Allah is Al-Wadud, etc. But unfortunately, we don't speak enough about actualizing all of these things. So actualizing it means thinking to yourself, Allah is Al-Wadud. This struggle that I'm going through in my life, this pain that I'm going through in my life, Allah loves me. Allah loves me. With this pain that I'm going through, Allah loves me. Allah is Al-Hakim. Allah is the most wise. Therefore, my grandmother passing away, something as serious as that, me losing this loved one at this time, at this place, in this way, Allah was wise when He done that. Allah is Al-Hakim. When you look at the rulings in Islam, and you see that Allah, for example, allowed certain things for certain people, and Allah didn't allow certain things for certain people, you realize, okay, Allah is Al-Hakim. Therefore, there is hikmah behind that. There is wisdom behind that. There's wisdom behind that. So if I was to really, really briefly, and I really want you guys to go away with this, and that's why I don't want to long this out more than it needs to be. And this, wallahi, this concept that we've just discussed here in the last few minutes This, if actualized properly in your mind and in your life, will change your life. It will change your life. It's not possible, it will change your life. Because, as mentioned, one thing that is guaranteed is that you will be tested. Am hasib an-nas, as Allah mentions in the Quran, do the people think, and yutraku, that they're going to be left to say, and yaqulu amanna, wa hum la yuftanun. Allah explicitly mentions in the Quran that do these people think that they're just going to be left? They're going to be left and they're not going to be tested? They're not going to be put through anything? They're not going to be put through anything? Allah mentions that He tested those before us to know which of those are the liars and which of those were truthful. Truthful in what? In their promise with Allah. With Allah. So the reality is, we see that in the life of the prophets. We see a level of tawakkul, reliance upon Allah. An example, I'll give you an example from the life of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, any major trial you can probably think of, he went through it. Any major trial in your life. You know, losing a loved one, the closest people to you. For a man, I mean, for those of you who's married in this room, if you just put your hand up so I know. Okay, you know, some of you guys are married, perhaps some of you more than once, right? And perhaps you're keeping that low, so we're not going to expose you, yeah? But when you're married now, for example, Allah makes it clear in the Quran, وَجَعَلَ بَيْنَكُمْ مَوَدَّةً وَرَحْمَةً. Allah places a level of love and mercy between you and your wife. You love your wife, right? You feel a sense of affection for your wife. You look at her, you feel, you know, especially if you've got a good wife. If your wife, you look at her and you feel terrible, then, you know, I can't comment on that. But if you've got a good wife, if Allah's given you a good wife, you look at her and you feel peace. You feel sakina, you feel raha. You feel like, alhamdulillah for you. I'm so happy about you. And then you use these techniques. You don't praise her too much so she doesn't get too happy, you know, and stuff like that. But you feel happy about it. The Prophet ﷺ lost his wife, one of the most beloved people to him. She supported him, Khadija bint Khuwaylid radiallahu anha. She supported the Prophet ﷺ in times where he was in extreme grief. Extreme grief. She comforted him. Abu Talib, his uncle, was a key component in the Prophet ﷺ's life. He lost both of them in the same year, and that year is referred to as Amul Huzn. What did Allah reveal in that year? What did Allah reveal in that year? Does anyone know? What surah did Allah reveal? Okay, that's not the surah I'm looking for. Surah Yusuf. Allah revealed Surah Yusuf. Why? Allah is showing the Prophet ﷺ, this isn't just happening with you. Look at what happened with Yusuf. Look at the fitna he was put through. The trials, the tribulation, taken away from your family, sold into slavery. You end up working for other people in slavery. You haven't seen your father, your mother. Look at his father Yaqub alayhi salam. He went blind because of the pain, etc. This is pain. This is pain. And every single one of us, me scouting the room, we are of age, even those who are younger from amongst us, to have gone through pain in our lives. Actualizing aqeedah means looking at all of these names and attributes of Allah and consciously, not unconsciously thinking, whenever you go through a trial, Allah is Al-Basir, He sees me. Allah is Al-Basir, He sees me. And a powerful ayah comes to mind. With Musa alayhi salam. When Musa alayhi salam was giving da'wah to Fir'aun, and he was in such a difficult scenario, Allah mentions, وَقَالَ رَجُلٌ مُؤْمِنٌ مِّنْ آلِ فِرْعَوْنَ يَكْتُمُ إِيمَانَهُ أَتَقَتُلُونَ رَجُلًا أَن يَقُولَ رَبِّيَ اللَّهِ. A man from the family of Fir'aun, he spoke out and he said, and he was hiding his iman, يَكْتُمُ إِيمَانَهُ. He hadn't showed that he's a Muslim. He said, are you people going to kill this man because he says, my Lord is Allah? Are you really going to kill him? And we see later on in the surah, what does he say? This man who Allah doesn't mention to you what his name is. Sometimes it doesn't happen in the Quran. Allah doesn't mention to you what his name is, because sometimes it's not relevant. What's relevant is what he done. What he done was relevant, not his name. What does he do? He says, فَسَتَذْكُرُونَ مَا أَقُولُ لَكُمْ. You people, you're going to remember what I say to you. He says this to his people. This man, this is not Musa alayhi salam. He says, you're going to remember what I'm saying to you. And this is the key part here. وَأُفَوِّضُ أَمْرِي إِلَى اللَّهِ. And I leave my affair, whatever I'm going through, I leave it to Allah. And then what does he say right after? إِنَّ اللَّهَ بَصِيرٌ بِالْعِبَادِ. Subhanallah. And this is the key point here. The key point is, he was going through a trial, a tribulation, a difficult time. And he said, you people are going to remember, but what I'm going to do is, I'm going to leave it up to Allah. And he actualized his aqidah. He actualized it. He made it practical in his life. It's not just theory, where you go through a book of aqidah and you say, okay, mashallah, Allah sees all. It's not that. It is, Allah sees me in this scenario I'm going through. Inna Allah basirun bil ibad. And then what does Allah say right after that? Allah mentions, فَوَقَاهُ اللَّهُ سِيِّئَاتِ مَا مَكَرُوا. So Allah, and this fa is fa, it comes right after. Allah saved him, protected him from the evil of what they were plotting. And Allah speaks about the punishment that the people of Fir'aun were put through. Allah goes on to say, النار يعرضون عليها غدوا وعشيا ويوم تقوم الساعة أدخلوا آل فرعون أشد العذاب. Allahu Akbar. Allah goes on to say, what's going to happen with these people now? Allah says, these people, النار يعرضون عليها غدوا وعشيا. Allah mentions that the fire, they will be exposed to it in the day and in the night, in the morning and in the evening. And this is talking about the punishment in the grave for Fir'aun, for the people of Fir'aun. وَيَوْمَ تَقُومُ السَّاعَةِ. And the day, the hour is established. When the hour is established, they will be put through ashaddul adhab, the worst of punishments. So the point is, all of us are going to be put through trials, tribulations, problems, mashakil, issues with your wife, issues with your parents perhaps, issues at work, issues with your family members. Actually, I would go as far as to say, in this room, every single one of us has got an issue right now. We are going through a problem. We're going through a test. That is just life. That is life. The sooner you get with the program, because some people, they live their lives in depression. And one of the reasons why they live their lives in depression is because they don't get with the program. They don't get with the program. They don't understand this is life. They say things like, why me? Why did I get put through that? Why has this person got that and I haven't got this? Why am I struggling financially and that person isn't? Why can't I get married? And all of these people can get married. I don't know why it just came into my head, but I'll mention it to lighten the mood a little bit. It's like, have you guys seen that clip of Modine? Huh? He goes, I prayed my salah, I went on Umrah 5 times, and I couldn't get married. Huh? And all of these other guys. But the point is, that's how some people start talking. That's actually how some people start thinking. They think very negatively of Allah. So the point is, we want to actualize our belief system. And one of the issues with a lot of Muslims is that their belief, it's as if it's like the belief of any other Hindu or Christian or anything. You go to the mosque on Friday, you pray Jumu'ah Salah and you go home and I'm a Muslim. Khalas, that's it, I'm a Muslim. But being a Muslim doesn't mean much for them when it comes to these types of things. It's very, very important. These things are the core things that hold you grounded. That hold you grounded. I'll mention a couple of other things, and if we want to do a Q&A, we can. The ayats that are recited in Salatul Maghrib, Allah begins Surah Al-Hajj by mentioning something very, very powerful. Allah goes straight into it and mentions, Ya ayyuhan nas, Ya ayyuhan nas uttaqu rabbakum, inna zalzalat as-sa'ati shay'un azim. O people, be conscious of your Lord. Indeed, the shaking at the time of the hour is shay'un azim. It's a great thing. It's a terrifying thing. يَوْمَ تَرَوْنَهَا. The day they will see it, this shaking, at the time of the at the time of the hour. يَوْمَ تَرَوْنَهَا تَذْهَلُ كُلُّ مُرْضِعَةٍ عَمَّا أَرْضَعَتْ. Every single mother who is breastfeeding her child, she will neglect her child. She will neglect her child. وَتَضَعُ كُلُّ ذَاتِ حَمْلٍ حَمْلَهَا. Every single woman that is pregnant, she'll lose her pregnancy. She will lose her pregnancy. وَتَرَى النَّاسَ سُكَارَى. You will see people as if they are drunk. They're behaving as if they are drunk. وَمَا هُمْ بِسُكَارَى. Allah mentions, but they are not drunk. They are not drunk. So what's making them like this? وَلَكِنَّ عَذَابَ اللَّهِ شَدِيدٌ. However, the punishment of Allah is shadid. So all of us, when we're living these lives of ours and we're trying to be the best people that we can, one of the main things we need to do is actualize our beliefs in this manner. We believe Allah is one. We believe Allah is watching us. We believe in all of these things. That is how you actualize it. And a person, and I'll end on this because I said it, I'm going to keep my promise to you because I'm not going to make it longer than it needs to be. A person who commits sins, we're all men here. A person who commits sins and looks at things that they shouldn't look at, or listens to things that they shouldn't listen to, or does things that they shouldn't do. One of the things, attributes that this person has is a naqs in this aspect of their iman. It's a shortcoming in this aspect of the iman. They do not fully conceptualize, realize that Allah is watching them. Allah is hearing them. Alam ya'lam bi anna Allah yara. Does this person not know Allah is watching him? Allah can see him. And that is the reality. And that is true ikhlas. True ikhlas is when you are in khalwa, you are by yourself in your room, you are by yourself in your car, you are by yourself. You fear Allah in those moments. It's very, very easy for all of us to act very, very pious and amazing and great stuff and amazing stuff when we're in front of other people. That's easy for everyone. Everyone can do that. This is what differentiates people when you are in private. So I'll leave it at that. If there's any questions you guys have, if there's any discussions you want to open up, we can open them up. I'm a very open man, and we can see where it goes, inshallah. If there's any thoughts you guys have, any reflections as well on the topic, go for it. Bismillah.
What advice would you have for someone that just is looking to get closer or better with their recitation of Quran, or just come closer to Quran and say like implement it in their daily life more? What advice, anything that you would give to help that?
It's a very good question, bro. Jazakallah khair. About Quran, it's actually it's a very timely, important question because Ramadan's coming up, right? Ramadan is less than 3 months away or so, right? It's very, very close. Ramadan is very, very close, right? So, if I'm not mistaken, it's around 70 or so days away, right? One of the things of Ramadan is the Quran. Even the great scholars of the past, Imam al-Bukhari, Imam al-Shafi'i, etc., like it's mentioned, al-Shafi'i would complete the Quran. Imam Bukhari would complete the Quran twice every day in Ramadan. Now when people hear that, let's be honest, they're shocked. They're like, how on earth is that possible? What are you talking about? You're talking nonsense. That is not possible. The only reason why you say it's not possible is because you don't know how it can be, because you've never tried it. When you become fluent with the Quran and you become good at reading the Quran, you can read it very, very quickly. And that's something that we all need to really realize. What I would say with the Quran is what I would say with anything else, and that is practice makes perfect. I guarantee you, if everyone in this room, even those who are not very happy with their recitation of the Quran, if you were to read the Quran every single day without fail, and even if you were to spend 15 minutes on the Quran a day, I promise you, your recitation of the Quran would become very fluent, very quickly, within 1 or 2 months. You would be able to recite the Quran with proficiency, with absolute fluency. You would be very fluent. Very fluent. Do you know how I know? Because I was once in that situation. I remember some years back when I really wanted to I realized I've been a practicing Muslim for so many years, but I don't read the Quran. I don't read the Quran. I never read it. Never read it. It's just salah, قُلْ هُوَ اللَّهُ أَحَدَ اللَّهُ الصَّمَدُ. That's the situation that many of us are in, unfortunately. So I thought, I'm going to start reading the Quran. It was Ramadan, I remember, every single day. By the end of that Ramadan, fluent. Quickly finish a page in 2 minutes. And even that, some people will do 1 minute if they're reading fast. So the point is, it's all to do with your practice. It's all to do with your preparation. That's what it's all to do with. If you keep doing it, you know, that's the thing. Ali, why don't you sit here? Come sit here. You can actually come in here. You're a good person to come on this topic actually. Ali was in a similar situation. You won't mind me mentioning this.
You got me excited now.
Yeah. I was talking about Quran. One of the brothers, he asked, how can you build your fluency with the Quran? Yeah. And I said, if you read every day, you'll become fluent. Ali is a revert. He wasn't, you know, like some of us, we have the perception,
I'm an alim.
Definitely not that, I'm joking. Yeah. No, but like that you go madrasa and you learn, etc. You learn as an adult.
Yeah.
In your 20s, right?
And to me, it was very scary.
So why don't you tell the people about your experience to encourage them to like improve their fluency and stuff?
Yeah, to be honest with me, it was obviously it was a big struggle because when I first came, like it's a whole different language, but again, I just started and just look, as long as you're doing it, inshallah, for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, it's important. But I can remember actually, I was struggling with it, and I'm in the dawah as well. And you need to understand, in the dawah, I already have problems with our intentions every day. And then now it's like, okay, I can't even read the Quran in Arabic. So I was like, am I even doing this for the right reason? Like, it was just a whole internal issue. I can remember I was speaking to my teacher and I was like, I'm going to stop this whole dawah thing. Because I was feeling guilty. I was like, how can I be doing this and I can't even read the kalam of Allah? And they said, look, this is from Shaitan. They said, look, do you want to? I said, yeah. I said, it bothers me. He said, okay, then find yourself a teacher. And then I can remember there was a brother who was working for us doing admin. And then he had a Quran teacher in Egypt. And I just started off with him. In the beginning, I can remember just going through it, but every time I have a class with him, I would feel so sleepy. And it's not from, you know it's from Shaitan, bro. The sleep just comes over you, yeah? But eventually, bro, like, wallah, I've been doing it now for about 4.5, 5 years, consistently. And I do memorization, I do reading. And I don't necessarily need my teacher anymore, but I do it with him so he keeps me in check.
How's your fluency?
I'm very fluent reading now. I'm not as good as you, mashallah, but like, you know, you're my, you know, inshallah. No, you're not, mashallah. I'm really, really proud of where you came from, where Musa was. Because when I met Musa, he was like, what was he? He was like, how old was he? Was he 14?
No, I was 16, brother.
He was 16.
14.
I think I was 22 when I first came to Islam. So his dad, I'm chilling with him, and his dad's like, why is this grown man chilling with my 16-year-old son? Yeah. But alhamdulillah, like seeing where he went, where he was, and seeing how he connected to the Quran. Yeah. We are similar journey. But
let me mention something on that. Yeah, so when Ali became a Muslim, I don't know how long some of you brothers have been following some of us on social media, but if you've been following us for like around 10 years, we went on a trip to Paris, a dawah trip to Paris. That's the first time I met Ali. That was definitely like 10 years ago, right? And yeah, when I was like 16, 17, so he was a grown man. He was like in his 20s. So my dad once, he said to me, what on earth is this guy doing with you? What doesn't he have friends his own age and stuff like that? Yeah. But then, mashallah, like
because I came to Islam new, I had like, I ditched all my bad friends, and I was just like, it would just be. I said, I'd rather be alone than be with these bad friends. And then I met Musa, etc. And then there was a time when I got kicked out of my house. Yeah. My dad had a bit of a mad thing, yeah. So I stayed with them and brother Dawah and Imran ibn Mansur, may Allah bless him. My dad, what do you know what my dad thought you were? His dad thought I was a spy. Yeah. His dad was the first thing.
Literally.
This guy in my house, staying with Musa, and then my mum, mashallah, was making me biryani. I think I got the pictures. So I stayed with them. I stayed a couple of weeks with them, and then with brother Imran ibn Mansur. And yeah, they looked after me, alhamdulillah. And yeah, from there, like, you know. Yeah, but it's been a journey, like it's consistent. Now, it's like that, bro, it's just small, like the Prophet, peace be upon him, said, Allah loves deeds that are done small but regularly. Yes. And it's just that, bro. Now I have a Quran teacher who sticks on me. Like, every day I do an hour except Sundays, you know? And I have to have that in my life. To me, it's like, and believe me, wallahi, like there's psychologists that say, neurons in your brain that fire together, wire together. It's interesting, the Prophet, peace be upon him, says, when you do an action small but regularly, it becomes a habit, bro. Sometimes I've made it a habit, and I'm not trying to sound pious for that matter, but if I'm going on a long journey, the memorization I've done with the Quran, I put it on and I go through it throughout my journey. Sometimes I do it subconsciously without realizing. Mm-hmm. Like I'm on a journey, I'm not even doing it consciously, but it becomes a habit. So
yes. Yes. Any other points? Yeah, yes, brother.
I just had a question about actualizing, let's say, the names of Allah or
yeah.
man. Do you find that regardless to how much iman you think you have or how strong of an iman, do you find that you still need constant reminders? And if so, what kind of reminders do you look at to help you with it?
That's a very good question, honestly, and it's very relevant to what we're talking about. And yes, the answer to that is 100% yes. You know, Allah even mentions in the Quran, you know, فَذَكِّرْ وَذَكِّرْ فَإِنَّ الذِّكْرَ تَنْفَعُ الْمُؤْمِنِينَ, and remind, because the reminder benefits the believers, right? And one thing you'll notice about the Quran, and you're an Arabic speaker, you know, the brothers who speak Arabic, they will definitely know this. The Quran is full of repetition. It's full of repetition. Even the ayat, there's so many repeated verses in the Quran.
Look, who's calling me?
His Quran teacher's calling
He's
him.
about to stick on me. What's going on? See?
See, yeah.
You need something like a personal trainer. Was talking about Ajmal. When it comes to personal training, but sometimes if you know you're going to slack, you have somebody who's just going to refute you, as you can see.
Yeah. So it's good. Alhamdulillah, it's good to have that accountability. But yeah, so the Quran, it repeats often, continuously repeating concepts, Yawm al-Qiyamah, repeating, ayat, repeating them, etc. So the point is, what I would advise, especially someone like yourself, is that you should have a wird of the Quran that you read every day. And the reason you read it, one of the conscious things you do is, I'm going to try and pay attention here. Because sometimes people, they read the Quran, but they don't pay much attention. So they're just reading it, which is not, I'm not going to criticize that. It's still good. It's a good habit. You're reading the Quran, for God's sake. But when you are reading and you're thinking, I'm trying to take this in. Even those brothers who don't speak Arabic, when you read it and you see this ayah. I've been reading Surah An-Naba for years, since I was a 3-year-old kid in madrasa. Okay, what does this mean? Amma yatasa'alun. Click it. Translation. SubhanAllah, I didn't know that, right? Anin Naba'il Azim. What does that mean? Okay, قُلْ هُوَ اللَّهُ أَحَدٌ قُلْ أَعُوذُ بِرَبِّ الْفَلَقِ. What does that mean? Right? So I would advise brothers, genuinely, and this is not like, this is the advice I would give, is to get those consistent reminders and to keep you grounded is the Quran. There's nothing, like there's other things you can do, but the number one is the Quran. If you are reading the Quran every day, and when I say reading, it doesn't mean you need to do a juz. Do a page. Do a page a day. A page a day of the Quran. You know, and that's why the app Quranly is good. For those of you who don't have it, download it. Get Quranly. And you can add each other as friends and stuff. Quranly. Isa is a good friend of us, a lot of the brothers here. Isa Khan. It's the app Mufti Menk promotes, and all of the brothers, they promote it and stuff like that. It's a habit building Quran app. So you set a daily target, it'll remind you. You didn't read your Quran today, read it. And you know what you can set your target as? 3 verses a day.
Yeah, simple.
And some people, they started like that, they haven't stopped reading the Quran. So you have to do that, inshallah.
Just to add on, you know, you said, for example, like sometimes Allah says, remind the benefits of the believer. Yeah. This happened to the Sahaba. You need to understand, the Sahaba who memorized the whole Quran. When the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, died, there was chaos. Umar ibn Khattab said, anyone that says the Messenger of Allah has died, I'll kill him. They just did not want to believe it. So much so, after, I think in the Tafsir Abdullah ibn Abbas says that, I think it was Abu Bakr, when he came and recited the ayahs of the Quran about that many messengers have passed away before, you know, are you going to turn back on your heels? Yeah. Abdullah ibn Abbas says that when this ayah was recited, the companions acted as if this was the first time they heard it. Yeah, that's why? Because now it's absorbed. It's like, wow, because we read this. But in their head, they never thought maybe the Prophet, peace be upon him, would die. It's like us. We live like we're never going to die. And the moment you're hit with your death, it hits you. Because this first is denial. No, this is not happening to me. Then it's like, this is happening to me. Let me prepare for it. So that's how the companions were. When they heard that ayah, and that happens to me. There was a brother I was speaking to, and was talking about a specific verse in the Quran where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, it's in jihad, it's in war, yeah? So when it says, when you strike them in a way that the ones behind them would be like, run for my life, yeah? And this brother is like half of the Quran, and he was like, is there a verse in the Quran? I was like, yeah. I was surprised he didn't know. I was like, yeah, there is. He was shocked, like he was thinking, maybe I was mistaken. I was like, no, I opened to him, he was amazed. Not only that, he was laughing his head off the fact that Allah said, it's in battlefield, when that happens, that strike them in a way that the ones behind them the fear will struck them. So in situations when you're hit, then certain ayahs of the Quran, you're like, wow, I read a certain verse in the Quran, bro, and I go, I read this, but
Yeah.
how did I miss this?
Yeah.
So it happens. You know what I believe that is? Allah is opening the understanding. Allah is opening your heart to the Quran.
Yes.
Because many people read the Quran. You know there are Orientalists that know Qur'an better than all of us put together. And you know why they're reading it? To attack Islam. So their hearts are closed. When Allah opens your heart, bro, you understand the beauty in a different way.
Yeah. And it reminds me, I mean, before we give it back to you guys, like Umar radiallahu anhu, you know, there's an ayah in the Quran, سَيُهْزَمُ الْجَمْعُ وَيُوَلُّونَ الدُّبُرُ. You know, and the ayah expresses within it that, you know, they're going to show you their backs, right? And he was like, in one of the battles, when he saw one of the battles, he said, now I know what this ayah was talking about.
Yeah, exactly.
The point is, look at Umar though. The point is, that event that happened, what did it make him think of? It made him think of the Quran. Because he reads the Quran, right? Someone who never reads the Quran, they're going to see things in their life and they're not going to make that connection. The Quran is just a book on the shelf for them. And that is not how it should be for any of us. If there's a...
I'm struggling to be sincere. How can I be sincere? Really sincere?
Mm-hmm.
To be honest, that question, there is anyone that asks that question, they think there's a recipe or remedy. There is no. The fact that you're in a constant striving of your intention is where that's the correct place. The fact that if you don't, I say to anyone in the public sphere, in the Dawah scene, wherever you are, if you do not question your intentions, if anybody comes in the Dawah and says, bro, I don't have an intention problem, I'll say, bro, you have the biggest intention problem. If you come and say to me confidently, I don't have an intention problem, I'll say, bro, I don't know what Shaitan's done to you, he's got you in a lock. You know, you're not even, you're sleeping.
That you think you're sincere.
You're sincere. Bro, the fact that you question your sincerity shows your sincerity. That's your sincerity. The fact that you're like, I don't know. Because believe me, bro, I went into this circle of same thing. It became an OCD. You know people who do wudu and they're like, the wudu hasn't touched the earth. I went into this with my intentions. Am I doing it for the sake of Allah? Am I doing it for the sake of Allah? I would rewind. Why did I start doing this? I went to Speaker's Corner. I didn't want to be filmed. I never planned on doing YouTube. Oh, okay, good. My intentions were good. But then one brother came and said, oh, do videos. I was like, okay, good. And then I can remember, and then I'll be like, yeah, but there was that time I got a really nice haircut, fade. And then I wanted to do a video. And I was like, why do you want to do that for? And I'm like, oh, no, that was not for the sake of Allah. So, and then I realized, you know what, bro? I could never, ever, I don't know if it was Ibn Al-Qayyim, I can't remember, he said, there is nothing I have thought worse than my intentions. One day is for me, one day is against me. So you're never going to have a conclusion, bro, where it's going to be, oh, I'm definitely doing this for us. You do not know. One thing that helped, I would say as a public, like being in the public, is my teacher said to me that anything that I do in the public, bro, I see it as zero. I am never going to stand in front of Allah and say, oh Allah, done dawah. No way. No way. I'm going to stand in front of Allah and say, oh Allah, I've got a couple of private deeds. Between me and you, I'm here with this. If you accept the private of the public, well and good. But I'm not coming there because it's uncertain for me. If Allah accepts it, good. If He doesn't, bro, there's my private deeds. And you know what that does? It forces you to do more private deeds. So that's how it helped me, but there is no clear answer. It's just the fact that you're in that struggle, bro, that shows that. There's a good show sign of sincerity.
Yeah, I mean, and just for the sake of benefit, you know, I mentioned, I was actually thinking about this yesterday. This exact thing. I was thinking about myself. I was really, I'll be honest with you, I was in the bed and I was thinking about it. I was thinking, what are my intentions? Am I doing this stuff for the right reasons? And what Ali mentioned is right. The fact that, because sometimes you have to be careful of shaitan as well. Sometimes shaitan will try and attack you through that. So you have to be balanced. But that point about the fact that you are questioning yourself shows there's some goodness there. Inshallah. Inshallah, we hope for that, you know. And another thing that I would encourage is there's certain acts of worship a person can do that make it more likely for you to be sincere in them. What do I mean? Just now, we prayed salah. We all prayed in front of everyone. So, because you're praying in front of everyone, it's possible that a person is just praying and he's trying to show off through his salah. Allah refers to that in the Quran. فَوَيْلُ لِلْمُصَلِّينَ الَّذِينَ Allah refers to in the Quran when He says, يُرَاءُونَ النَّاسِ about the munafiqeen. That they pray. You know, وَإِذَا قَامُوا إِلَى الصَّلَاةِ قَامُوا كُسَالًا Allah mentions. When the munafiqeen, they stand for salah, they stand in a lazy way. يُرَاءُونَ النَّاسِ. Munafiqeen are hypocrites. They are showing people that, oh, look, I'm praying. وَلَا يَذْكُرُونَ اللَّهَ إِلَّا قَلِيلًا. They don't remember Allah except for a little bit. So one of those acts of worship you can do is fasting. The reason why fasting is such a beautiful act of worship is because you are fasting. You can be fasting and your own wife doesn't know you're fasting. You can be fasting and the people in your house, they don't know you're fasting because of the way you go about it. The people at work, they don't know you're fasting. It's like, oh no, I don't feel like eating right now, etc. You fast the whole day. Only you know you're fasting. That's why fasting is referred to as one of those good deeds that a person can do that is between them and Allah, right? So there's other things that you can do. You give sadaqah privately. No one knows that you've done this. Not your wife, not your mom, not your dad. You do things, no one knows that you've done them. And that's a very good thing to do, to train that, inshallah. Any other points? Yeah.
In Coventry, alhamdulillah, I have a few new Muslim brothers around me. What advice would you give to me so I can pass it on? One of the brothers is Jay here. He's a new Muslim as well.
Amazing.
Outside of doing Musa, wudu, salah, and reading the Quran, what can you recommend to study or focus on next? Did the Prophet ﷺ tell the Sahaba, the Muhajirun who paired up with the Ansar, was there kind of a curriculum that they followed or a certain pathway that they followed? What was next after that?
Yeah, it's a good question. There's a lot of things that a person can do, but the main things are the things that you mentioned, to be honest with you. The main things, when a person becomes a Muslim, the first thing that they should rush to learn is the salah, how to pray, how to say everything in the salah, etc. That is one of the first things that they should rush to do. But yes, there is an order. Even when the Prophet ﷺ he sent Mu'adh bin Jabal to Yemen, he told him, first teach them about Allah, then get them, then the prophethood, etc. And you keep going like that. So salah is number one in that priority, and working on the salah. The thing is, the salah, it might not take 1 month or 2 months or 3 months. It could take long, right? So you really want to give the salah the emphasis it deserves, which is you should be praying every day, 5 times a day on time. That is the goal. I do understand when a person becomes a Muslim, and we work in the Dawah field, like when people become Muslims, they can't just wake up tomorrow and they're praying Fajr, Dhuhr, Asr, Maghrib, Isha, and they're praying it in the best possible manner, and then they're praying Tahajjud, and then they're praying all of the extra. It doesn't happen like that. That's not real life. It doesn't happen, right? But you have to help them build that up. After Salah, then yes, 100% learning how to read the Quran, if that hasn't happened, right? So when I say read the Quran, learning how to read Arabic. Learn how to read Arabic. It's very easy. I know of people who've done it in 10 days. Reverts, not born Muslims, like they, reverts, right, to Islam. So that's the next thing, learning how to read Quran. They can do that. And then slowly, then what they should do, one of the things I would advise is they should study that knowledge which is obligatory for them to know. You may ask, what is that knowledge that's obligatory for you to know? The knowledge that is obligatory for you to know is that knowledge which you need to fulfill your obligations. So anything you need, what do you need to do salah? What do you need? You need wudu. So it's obligatory for you to learn wudu. You need to learn wudu. You need to learn ghusl, because that's going to be obligatory for you. You need to learn how to, for example, if Ramadan is coming up, even the ulama, they'll mention things like this. Hajj. Who hasn't been on Hajj? Put your hands up. Who realistically thinks they're going to go on Hajj this year? Realistically, you think you're going to go on Hajj. MashaAllah, that's good. Yeah? Okay, but now for those brothers who, they don't have the capability now and Hajj is around the corner, it's not obligatory. It can be argued it is not obligatory for you at this very moment to know that. But once you're going on Hajj, let's say you're on no, bro, you should know this now. You should know this. So there are certain knowledge that becomes obligatory at certain times as well. So whatever you need to be doing, like if Ramadan is around the corner, it's very good to teach them about Ramadan. What breaks your fast? What doesn't break your fast? How do you fast? What is the Islamic concept of fasting, etc. Do you want to add anything on that, Ali?
The only thing I would add, bro, the biggest thing that we lack, like Sheikh Albani said, he said, I used to think there was a lack of tawheed in the ummah. He said, I realized that there's a great lack of akhlaq, good manners, which is fundamental, bro. The Prophet, peace be upon him, said, I came for nothing but to perfect good character. Now, when we talk about good character, we're talking about being like polite, like, can you pass me that, please? No. Good character, if you look at the mushrikeen, did they have good adab with Allah? No, they didn't. They said Allah has daughters. Allah, we go through Allah through these. Is that good manners with Allah? It's not. So having good manners starts with Allah, then His Messenger, then yourself, because you need to have good manners with yourself. When you commit a sin, you should be like, this not, I'm not deserving of this. Like, you should look after your soul and your body better. You should have good manners with yourself. Then you have good manners with the people. Akhlaq and adab is fundamental, bro. We greatly lack this in the ummah. Greatly, bro. You have people who are like a machine, bro. Quran, hadith. The guy is a machine. When it comes to adab, bro, you're just like, wallahi. And let me tell you something, bro. The biggest form of dawah you can give anybody, for that matter, is how you are with them. They don't give a damn, like Zakir Naik, quote Quran, like left, right, center, above every word you know. They look at what kind of a person are you, bro? Yeah? When they come to you and you're just like a weird, like individual who doesn't know how to operate with individuals, you get what I'm trying to say? You have no akhlaq, no adab. That's why you see the salaf, you would see so many people, when some of them would give a lecture, and some of the salaf would say, we would rather teach our kids one chapter on adab, good manners, than 70 chapters of knowledge. Yeah? The point is what? The way we conduct ourselves, bro. How many of us can say, when's the last time, bro, we checked on our neighbors? But when is the last time you went to your neighbors and said, do you need help with anything? Cutting your grass, shopping, you're elderly. Wallahi, I'm telling you, one action of good deed you do like that, wallahi, if they open the TV and the only thing on TV was about how terrible Muslims are, they're just going to think about you. They're just going to reference, no, my neighbor's not like that. Do you see? So manners is fundamental where a lot of people neglect. Yeah, they talk about all these books, etc. Then you look at their manners like nothing. There's a book from Imam Bukhari, Al-Adab al-Mufrad. Highly read it, bro. Talks about your etiquette with your father. Don't sit down before your father. Don't walk in front of your father. Don't call your father by his name. Yeah? Bro, actually, these days, people, the way they're talking to their fathers, their mothers, etc., let know their friends. So I would say manners heavily.
Definitely.
Is that the only book you recommend, Ali?
Me personally, bro, with what the ummah is going through, Aki, when it comes to this, when you see like there's a deep like problem, 100%, but I would say focus on that. Because that is Tawheed. When I talk about this, people come and say to me, Ali, you never talk about Tawheed. Because their understanding of Tawheed
it's theoretical.
Tawheed al-Rububiyyah, uluhiyyah, wow. Salaf Salih, wow. Alhamdulillah, Rabbil Alameen, wow. Do you think deen has come to this? Like I wear a thobe. Do you think it's hard for me to wear a thobe? And put top, like, do you really think it's hard for me to do that in my dawah? It's not, and there's nothing wrong with it. I would love to wear it, by the way. I don't wear it for personal reasons, because my dad would call it MI5 on me, yeah? Believe me, bro, you guys are like, I love wearing a thobe. I wear it inside my house, yeah? Even then, my mom's like, why do you have to wear that? Yeah, so the point is, it's a big blessing. But the point is this, bro, the essence of Islam is deeper than that. I would heavily focus on that, bro. Once you see that, Aki, wallahi, adab and akhlaq, manners, like the Prophet, peace be upon him, said, two things going to be given on the day of judgment. There's different narrations. Tawheed and one's good akhlaq. Manners is so key that we don't talk about. And it connected to Tawheed. So I would heavily focus on that.
I want to add to what you're saying here with an example, actually. The other day I was on social media, right, and I was scrolling.
As usual, like Musa,
I was scrolling. And I came across a video, yeah? And do you guys know this guy? He's a streamer, Sneeko. You guys seen him, yeah? So it's a video of him asking his cameraman. It's a random video, yeah? And he asks his cameraman, who's like the best person you've met in your life? Now, I just want you guys to deep this question, right? He's asking his cameraman, who is a non-Muslim. He's not a Muslim. He's probably met like thousands of people in his life, etc. Who's the best person you've met in your life, right? Do you guys know who Ustad Abu Taymiyyah is? Abu Taymiyyah? Okay, he's a good friend, yeah? So he said, you know that guy that we met in Mecca? That guy. Can you imagine now, yeah? He goes, that guy we met in Mecca, you done the little podcast with him. What's his name? He goes, Abu Taymiyyah. He goes, yeah, man. He's an influencer. Then Sneeko's like, oh, no, he's not an influencer like that. He's just, he gives talks and stuff. He's like, yeah, man, but that guy, his mannerisms, he was always asking me, have you drunk water? Have you done this? Do you want me to get you some water and this and that? I messaged that to Ustad Abu Taymiyyah. I messaged it to him. And I said to him, they're speaking about you. So then he responded, he's like, okay, this, that, whatnot, yeah. And then I said to him, it's such a big thing. Obviously, we shouldn't praise people to do it, but I felt like I should say, I felt like I want to say this to him. It's such a big thing that when someone is asked, anyone, if anyone asked anyone in the world, who's the best person you've met, and they said Musa, Adnan, I would be it doesn't matter who they are, I'd be like, wow. Someone in this dunya thinks I'm the best person they've met in their life. That's a big deal. So I said to him, that's an amazing thing. Why? It was his mannerisms. This non-Muslim is saying, the best guy I've met in my life is that guy. He didn't even know his name. He just said, that guy. What was that guy's name in Mecca?
How he made him feel.
Yeah, he made him feel special, right? So don't ever underestimate that. So it's a very good reminder. If there's anything, by the way, it doesn't need to be questions. If there's things you guys want to add, this is a conversation with brothers, you know, yeah, go for it, bro.
What advice would you give, like, for young ones out there that's trying to study the deen, but then there's like so many sects, and then when you start asking questions, people are like, this is the correct madhab, this is the correct madhab, and then it kind of just leaves you like entangled, and you're like, right, my intentions are, you know, clear, like.
Yeah.
So what advice would you give?
Look, if you're talking about schools of thought, generally speaking, every single one of them is accepted and it is agreed upon. And whether you want to study the Hanafi madhab or the Shafi'i madhab or the Maliki madhab or the Hanbali madhab, any of them, there is a level of agreement that the Ummah has come to, that these 4 schools of thought are ways to get to the Sunnah. They are ways to, you know, get there. And obviously, different people, I myself studying and teaching and stuff, the Shafi'i madhab, so I'm obviously going to be biased towards that, right? But whichever one you study, you're studying Islam.
What about the other ones that they're like Salafiyah, and then there's like
You're talking about
the ones that...
Okay, so that type of stuff, brother, what I would say to you is, look, you should have brothers who you trust around you, and people who are not sectarian. Okay, these are the ways to judge. Okay, people who, you can judge the people by the way they speak about other people. Okay, there are some sects out there, they continuously make it their job to speak about other Muslims. Okay, continuously speaking about other Muslims, pointing out the mistakes of other Muslims, etc. You don't want to get caught up in all of that. Okay, one of the things that you want to do is you want to study your deen without getting involved in all of this tit for tat, he said, she said, my sheikh is better than your sheikh, and my sheikh said this, and your sheikh said that, and my sheikh refuted your sheikh. You don't want to get into any of that, right? You want to just learn the deen, purified, and that's how you can judge it. The way you can judge it, the Prophet ﷺ made it very, very clear as well. The Prophet ﷺ said that his ummah will split up into 73 sects. Every single one of them will be in the hellfire except for one. And they asked, which one is that? And that is the one that follows the way of the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ and the way of his companions. What is that way? We have to learn and study. And when you learn and study with an open mind, without thinking about your sheikh and this guy sitting in Saudi Arabia and this guy sitting in here and he's sitting in Birmingham and he's sitting there, without thinking about any of that, you leave the sectarianism, okay, for a second, and you look at what is the actual truth of Islam. What is Islam? And then you study it like that, inshallah ta'ala. If we speak in person, we can recommend you maybe some stuff and whatnot. Paddy's got a question. By the way, Ali, I don't know if you know, Paddy, he took his shahada.
Yeah, someone told me and I was like, yeah, inshallah, it's Paddy. But alhamdulillah, may Allah bless him, inshallah.
Yeah, mashallah.
I met you yesterday, it was beautiful, brother.
Yeah.
Inshallah, I'm at your service today, till the morning.
Yeah.
Obviously today has been an eye-opener for me. It's been very emotional in all ways, but obviously I've still got a lot to learn, and when I spoke to the brothers, I've been told to find my own way. Everyone's going to tell me which way to pray or which way to follow and what, but solely it's on me and my connection with him. So what I do want to say is there, because I don't know yet and I'm yet to learn, am I still able, when I meet other brothers and people that are not Muslim, am I able to express, not, obviously I can't get them to rebel unless they want to do that, but am I, even though I'm not sure on scriptures or anything like that, because I haven't made that, am I still able to share with someone?
Can we mention?
Tell them, like, bro, you need this, even though I don't fully understand.
Yeah. So I'll go in order of what you mentioned. Yeah, the first thing you mentioned about different people, different brothers are going to come up to you and offer you to teach you, and we're all doing that out of good mannerisms and stuff like that. But one thing we can do before the end of this, we can sit down. Akhi, what's your name? I forgot your name. Behind you. Abdullah. So Abdullah's clearly become your friend. You came to all of this through him. He should be one of your main points of contact. He should be one of your main points of contact, inshallah. And I'm sure he's more than happy to do that, to help you and stuff like that, etc. However, like, we'll sit down with the brothers and stuff. We can refer you to exact things. And then what we'll advise you as well is, a lot of people are going to come to you. Don't get overwhelmed. Just stick to 1 or 2 sources of information. That's it. Because when you get 30 sources of information, you get passionate brothers coming to you. Brother, let me teach you how to pray. Brother, you're going to get confused. You don't want to get confused. Beginning off, not that Islam is confusing, it's just because you need one teacher, right? Who's going to teach you, and then, because you're in the beginning stages, when you develop, then you can go to different classes, you can go and study with different people, because then you're going to have a foundation. Do you get what I mean? But to build your foundation without getting confused, because one guy might tell you something, this guy might not know what he's talking about because he's never studied, then this guy might tell you something, he doesn't know what he's talking about, and then you're confused, and then you go to someone, you're like, and then he clarifies. You don't want to do all of that, where you get everything clarified. You just want to be with one guy who you trust, he's going to give you everything, this is it, and you're going to listen to him, you're going to follow him, inshallah. That's the first thing. The second thing is about da'wah. You're basically asking, da'wah is literally the word for inviting other people to Islam. 100%. The Prophet Muhammad, he told us in a narration, convey from me, even if it's one verse. The condition is one thing, and the condition is you know the verse. Do you get what I mean? So the condition is, as long as you know what you're talking about, what you're saying, you don't have to be able to explain all of Islam. As long as what you're telling him, you know it. So for example, let's say you go to your family tomorrow or the day after or whatever, and you say, Mom, we believe in one God. You can speak about the oneness of God. I believe it's logical to believe in one God. It's the only logical thing. Speak about that, because you know about that. Speak about other things. I don't believe, with respect, I don't believe that Jesus can be God, because he's a man. He was a prophet of God. God sent him as a prophet. The people then changed things, etc. whatnot. So speak about the things you know. And then anything you don't know, speak about it, but after you've learned it, basically. So you keep studying, keep learning. And you should definitely do da'wah, bro, because you're a reaver. It's going to be much more effective you speaking to your own people than me, a brown guy with a beard, coming and talking to your people. But your name's Paddy, like you're speaking to your fellow Irish people and whatnot. That's it. Allah in the Quran, and passed it on to Ali, in the Quran, He sent the prophets to speak to their people. Allah mentions bilisani qawmihim, with the tongue of their own people. What does that mean? In their own language. The prophets spoke to their people in ways they understood, because they were from them. So that should actually be a goal of yours. One of your goals should be, I want to be that guy for my Irish community. Like, I want to speak to my family members, my people and stuff. They're your people, you know? Yes, definitely.
You must change your name to Paddy Dawah. I have a guidance. We started a project, Salah Plus project, yeah? So we're heavily focusing on the second pillar of Islam, which is the Salah. So we have this guided prayer now. I've got it in the car. I'm going to give you it.
Perfect.
It has everything that's in transliteration. So anytime we pray, just put it in front of you. You'll notice when they're reciting Surah Fatiha, you can either read from it, yeah? So you'll see what they're reciting, you can read from it. It tells you the positions, what to do, etc.
It's all on the mat.
All is on the mat, yeah? Take it with you, fold it, it's really thin.
You were talking about earlier.
Yeah.
Yes, we were talking about it.
Yeah.
Okay, good. So I've got it in the car. I'm going to give you 1 or 2, inshallah. It's for free. Yeah, please donate towards it. We just give it out. Use that, and also we can help you. Like, if you want to, we also have Salah instructors. So we have brothers who do, like, for the brothers. If you want, you book a session in Rome. Myself, and we have 2 other members. They can book a session over Zoom or in person. Even me, I can come and spend the whole day teaching how to pray Salah. So we book it in. Where do you live in London?
Between London and Leeds.
Yeah, no problem. Perfect. Whenever you're in London, bro, just let me know. Just say, oh, you've got your friend. You don't even need it. If you do, we're there. So you can order, but you don't need to. I'm going to give it to you now, bro, and that will make your life so easy. And one thing you just need to know, we say from born Muslims, those who come to Islam, is that just say Subhanallah. The scholars have given us the fatwa, you say Subhanallah throughout, because you don't know Fatiha. Shaitan will come and say, you need to know Fatiha. And you're like, when am I going to memorize that? It's going to take time. So what we say is, don't let that delay you. Start out with subhanallah, and then slowly, what's in front of you, bro, as you keep saying, you're going to end up memorizing it, inshallah.
Yeah.
And I'll help you, inshallah.
But by the way, because you weren't here, so I want to give you context.
Okay.
Abdullah and Paddy actually only met 4 days ago.
Oh, okay.
Did you know that?
Well, they're going to become best brothers, alhamdulillah, I can see it.
Inshallah.
There's a reason they met.
It's amazing. Yeah, exactly.
They're from the same area?
We were discussing that. They have a mutual friend. So
Perfect, no problem.
Yeah.
Perfect, alhamdulillah.
Yeah,
No
it's
problem.
amazing
But
stuff.
I'm here. Like, you know, the brothers, everyone's here for you.
Inshallah. Bro, you had your hand up, yeah?
Yeah, just for bro, Paddy.
Go for it.
Yeah, bro. Remember, you probably won't become Muslim by what we were saying to you or what people said. It's probably what you said and how you felt. So just for you, even as me, like someone with basic knowledge, the best form of dawah is going to be your actions and how you interact with people. The first people that are going to watch you, probably your mum, your close family, the way you talk, to see how Islam is affecting your life. That's the first thing. Trust me when I say they're going to be monitoring your every move, bro. Does this guy even pray? Does he take his religion serious? Has he still got the same old habits? All of that, bro, I promise you, it's the biggest, without even opening your mouth, it's going to be the biggest form of dawah.
Yes. And bro, like there's no rush. There's no rush at all. Don't feel rushed. As you were mentioning, when you were speaking that you're still learning and stuff, Islam was revealed over 23 years. The position you're in now, exactly the position you're in, this is the position that the companions of the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ were in. They were all reverts. They became Muslims. They became Muslims and they learned. And Islam was revealed over 23 years. So that doesn't mean you have to take 23 years to do the major things, but you've got time. Take your time. There's no rush. Take it easy. Don't become overburdened, and stuff like that. Because when people become overburdened, then they can start falling off things and stuff. You wanna take it at a right pace, inshallah. Yes, bro.
I just wanted to add to that with a lot of reverts and you have a lot of good intentions, but just be very careful that just like what Brother Haroon said, it's about your actions and your character. That people around you, people close to you, they're going to read that and learn more from that. Don't burn bridges. Early on, you have this thing of, I've got the truth. And we go through it as well. When we start practicing, we burn the bridges with everyone we have. We literally burn bridges with family, burn bridges with friends, because we've got the truth.
Yeah.
I've discovered that, this is the answer to all of life's questions. So I'm going to tell everyone. And if you don't listen to me, what's wrong with you? Why aren't you listening? And you get that internal frustration, which shows and it burns that link with them. Because they're not gone through that journey that you've gone through. So you have to give them time and patience to just monitor you, see the positive change in you, and go, wow. And just like what Haroon mentioned, your parents, your mom would see that and go, what a positive change.
We'll just continue until the brothers come back. Yeah. Okay, so Ali is saying that you guys look a bit sleepy. I thought he said, should we get them to jog outside? I was like, what are you talking about?
Jog outside.
Yeah. I was like, what are you talking about?
Now, if you want to stretch, I'm just saying, maybe open that door, some fresh air comes in.
Yeah, if you guys want to get some snacks, I don't know,
No, don't do that, but these guys are going to bounce. I'm just going to get my snack. Yeah, if you want, you can get up and just move about.
Yeah.
If you want, if you guys feel sleepy, you can open that door, some fresh air will come through.
Yeah. If you guys have any more points or any questions, and yeah. Yeah, you go.
No, my question was just really, do you guys get any days where you don't necessarily feel like doing the extra acts of worship, like the sunnah or the waqf prayers, or even the Quran recitation? Maybe it could be lack of motivation, it could be other reasons.
Yeah.
How do you guys overcome that?
Do you ever have any days where you lose motivation to not do the nawafil and stuff like that? How do you overcome it?
Oh, okay, so are you saying do we ever have times where we're like, okay, the sunnah prayer? Yeah. Brothers who are moving around, please be a bit quiet while moving around. So do you mean how do we hold on to the sunnah?
Yeah, how do you motivate yourself? So for example, that could be, you might have a plan to do Quran recitation or memorization. how do you guys, so you're going to get days, like you're going to be on a level, like you're very motivated, some days you're getting tired, some days you're ill. How do you guys keep that consistency going?
Okay. Brothers, I can't hear him. Brothers, please, if you can move it in silence, please.
This is
we
your.
said move your body, not your tongues.
This is your.
So, in a nutshell, there's no negotiables. When it comes to the Quran, yeah, when it comes to certain, for example, Quran, my adhkar is no negotiables. To me, that's like an outright war on shaitan. I don't, that's that no negotiable, bro. Because I know I'm in the public. If I don't do my salah, Quran, and my adhkar, I'm outright there's danger there. You get what I'm trying to say? Yeah. And I've seen that. I will touch upon it a bit later when I'm giving the talk, inshallah, when it comes to the adhkar. Those are my non-negotiables. Those are like you can talk sunnah actions, yeah? When it comes to the Quran, when it comes to the adhkar, when it comes to the sunnah salah, etc. But sometimes, for example, do I get demotivated where, for example, I have the sunnah that I do for Dhuhr, and I do the two before, but I do the two after, and then Maghrib comes and I've got two that I'm like, yeah, but I missed that one. Yes, I do get that. Do you get what I'm trying to say? So sometimes I miss that. But again, you just, what it is, bro, there's your non-negotiable sunnah, and then there are those which you're like, okay, it's not that deep, it's there, do you get what I'm trying to say? If it becomes overwhelming, don't, because I know some people who stop praying salah because they do like the wajibat, and they've got some extra salahs, and I'm thinking, how many do you pray? It's like, yeah, like, I don't know, 30 something, I'm like, and then they hate it, bro, and I'm like, why are you doing that? Bro, some people go and pray 20 rakat tarawih and they miss fajr, and he's waking up thinking, yeah, man, are you okay, bro? You missed fajr. You missed fajr over a sunnah action. Did you see how shaitan gets you? So priorities and non-negotiables, to me personally, that's what I think.
Do you want to do your talk now?
No, I don't
Okay.
know.
Thank you. Okay.
Well, Ali, you said before when you prayed Quran early days, you felt tired, and I feel like that a lot as well.
Yeah.
And I think some of it comes down to reading the Arabic and not understanding the English.
Yeah.
What would you recommend for trying to understand it and trying to read it in Arabic at the same time? Or to do that
Yeah, I've been a bit guilty of that, to be honest. Yeah, in the sense where I would read the Arabic, read. And I was thinking, when's the last time I actually opened the English? And I did some bit, because bro, it's sometimes you have to read the English. The Quran is a shifa. I believe this, bro. I don't know, God knows what the Quran is saving me from. That I don't know, bro, the unseen one. Wallahi, I don't know what Allah is saving me when I'm doing the Quran. Believe me, yeah? So the thing is, I would say personally, there's a few things that help. Maswak, chewing gum, but I would say maswak. You know when you do maswak? Yeah? I would say reading, like, to be honest, I usually use the maswak when it came to going to classes and falling asleep in classes. Maswak kind of kept me away. But what I would say is, it's from shaitan. I'm telling you, bro, it's not a matter of I don't read the English. I'm telling you, it is from shaitan. Early times when I read the Quran, I don't get that anymore at all. At all. Like even when I'm driving, etc., off on the Quran, before when I started, because you know sometimes it's like shaitan is on your case. Bro, you need to ward him off, you need to fight him. He is on your case, because he's like, okay, I want to take him off his habit. Once you beat him, bro, khalas. Do you get it? Once you overcome a certain thing, bro, it's like fajr. Like the first year when I came to Islam, bro, waking up for fajr, I said, if there's anything I'm not doing in this religion, it's waking up for fajr. I'm not doing it, it's not happening. I can't do it. But the question is, and I say this to everybody, brothers, there is nothing you can do on your own. Look, I'm telling you, be it training, be it whatever you want, etc. I, as a human being, I would come and say to you, when I was a new Muslim, I can't wake up for Fajr. I'm just telling you, I can't. And that is a truth. I, Ali Dawah, cannot. But can Allah make me? Good. I cannot, argument's sake, bench, I don't know, 100 kilos. But can Allah make me? Yes. All Allah wants from you is, bro, ask Him. The method is so simple. I can remember the second year of Ramadan, and I said, oh Allah, like I hated the action, because you're a Muslim now, I hated it. I said, oh Allah, please, give me a way out. I hate it. Let me get out, like I want to wake up for Fajr. Bro, wallahi, I'm the person, like, going to sleep, I would do Uber. I would come home, yes? And sometimes I would go to sleep, there's 1.5 to Fajr. Instead of, I can't stay up, I would go sleep and I wake up. It's not me, there's nothing special recipe. Allah helped me. Why? Because I was sincere, inshallah. I really wanted to wake up for Fajr. I asked Allah, bro, everything to do with my Quran, any developments that I've had in myself, be it my physical, spiritual, mental, wallahi, I've asked Allah and Allah's given to me. The recipe is simple. I want this, how bad do you want it? You have to prove Allah. Allah wants to see how bad does He really want to do it? How bad does He want to stop committing that sin? When Allah sees your struggle and He's striving, wallahi, Allah gives you a way out. Wallahi, and just one thing, before I came to Islam, I was involved in a specific sin. And to me, I was like, I don't know how I'm going to get off this thing. I just hate it. And wallah, there'll be times as a non-Muslim, bro, I would cry. I would just cry. I just hated it, bro. I just did not like it. Wallahi, this is all I remember. And wallahi, uqsum billah if I'm lying. All I remember is this, bro. It's as if someone sedated me. I was in a coma, and I woke up a year and a half later, and I totally forgot about this sin. And I was thinking to myself, like, I saw that was a problem in my head. What happened is I got into the Dawah, and then the rest was history. It's as if I was put to sleep. And then a year and a half into it, and I was like, haram, how did I? Allah says in the Quran, Surah Talaq, if you fear me, I will give you a way out from places you can never imagine. Now, anytime I'm in a sticky situation, bro, it looks really peak. Do you know what I do to myself? Sometimes, you know what I do? I like this. It's like an idea that I like to explore. I sit down and I spend 10 minutes and I'm like, okay, I wonder how Allah is going to get me out of this. And then I start to brainstorm and I go option A, B, C, D. So as many thoughts I can think of. And I've got like maybe 11. I'm like, okay, these are one of the ways Allah's going to get me out from this mess. Bro, wallahi, Allah comes from a place. I'm like, bro, wallahi, if you gave me a million years, I would never think I'm going to get out of this mess in that way. The point is what? Allah is telling you, do you get what I'm trying to say? Your mind is this, bro. For Allah, it is not an impossibility. As long as you fear Him, as long as you try to be sincere, as long as you want His kalam to be the highest, Allah will always give you a way out from places you can never imagine.
It's great stuff.
Now, should we get them a break? I think they need a break. I think they need to go for a 4K job.
So brothers, what we're going to do is we'll give you guys a break, inshallah. But